Like I said, you guys have already donated enough money today. You don't have to donate all the time, but every once in a while, when I see that, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I appreciate it. It's ridiculous how expensive gas, beer, and cigarettes have become. It's just like, Jesus Christ. I can't even afford a car until I win the lottery, which museum privilege. I'm gonna have to time you out for that because I don't know where your source is for that. That's disgusting. Yeah, sorry, museum privilege. I had to ban you for that because we're not gonna be talking crap like that on people. Oh, trust me, I know for a fact that that JFS fangirl is legit. I have her number on my phone, dude. If you're gonna insult my fangirls that I've talked to legitimately FaceTimed, then nope, you can get banned. I'm not shaving my fucking head unless it's for a good cause. I finally got my hair back to its original length before I shaved it. That took me like 3 to 4 years to grow back. Well, if the foot rash doesn't clear up, I might go to the doctor and get a look at it. I don't like going to the doctor if I can help it, just because I'm a man and we're stubborn like that. And yeah, going to the hospital in the middle of a pandemic is the pandemic's kind of starting to end a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, smack the like button if you'd party with Hunter Biden if you couldn't get caught and never got busted. That's what kills me about it. Our politicians and their sons are getting caught with cocaine and hookers, and they don't get in trouble for it. You're rich enough, they don't care. You'll be sitting there flashing it on camera like, ooh, look what I got, kind of thing. Everyone else does it, and it's just like, you're under arrest. For what? I'm an advocate for legalizing cocaine. You shouldn't, like, smoke it like crack, but, like, you know, eh. I would take all the non-violent drug offenders out of prison. The ones that are violent can stay in there. Fuck them. No, it's the truth. We tried making alcohol illegal. It didn't work. People still did it. They're like, prohibition? Fuck your prohibition. Cocaine that's been cut with only baking soda is a lot safer for you than in smaller doses than any antidepressant out there. It's the fucking truth. Like, that comes from the cocoa plant, which also makes your chocolate. That's something to think about. But here's the thing of it. I'm not able to become president until at least 34. I'm 31, so I got 3 more years before I can legally run. And then I gotta wait until the election's over and it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, no disrespect, no disrespect to the Muslims. Y'all got a sweet clock tower, I'll give you that. But your religion is, with no disrespect, not for me. That's how it is with Sharia law, dude. And like, you want to call me a homophobic for saying it on YouTube, but it's like, um, it could be worse. And when I say that word, I'm talking about these things because I'm like 80% British. You kidding me? I'd snort cocaine with Elton John. I ain't no homophobe. Elton John's a beautiful singer. I've tried it before, like once or twice. And it's not bad, to be honest. It's not something I'd make a habit out of. To be truthful with you, because cocaine is so expensive and it can be so habit forming. So it's just like, it's like a once in a blue moon treat for me. Like, I don't do it like hardly ever. People tried photoshopping me smoking a crack pipe on YouTube. They took a fucking cigar and they photoshopped the cigar to look like a crack pipe and then spread it all over the fucking internet like a bunch of dumbasses. And I'm just like, you really think I'm going to be stupid enough to do that shit on camera? For one, and two, like I said, it's just not an everyday thing for me. Like, I don't want to make a habit out of it. I really don't. As fun as cocaine can be, and like shrooms and acid and all that good shit, it's just something you don't want to make a habit out of, YouTube. As a kid, my parents forced me to take things like Stratera, Zoloft, Ritalin, etc. Because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with Josh? Trying to figure out what makes me tick. And then when I was 13, the doctors diagnosed me with Asperger's. Like my grandma Sandy it's my dad's mom, and she sent my dad a link, and she's like, "Have you heard of Asperger's?" And my dad said, "Oh my God, that's Josh to a T." And when I got tested for it, they're like, "Well, there you go. That's what's wrong with you." I kind of hate that just because you have Asperger's, they label it as you're suffering from autism or that's what's wrong with you. And it's like, dude, if you're autistic, there's nothing wrong with you, man. You just see things differently, and that's not a bad thing. Our society is so conditioned to be normal and see things from the normal perspective that anyone who's different gets seen as weird. Like if one of my buddies was like, "Hey man, you want to snort a line of coke?" and I was like, "I'm totally down, but like we can't do it here. Can we go somewhere else to do it?" Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not bringing that shit into my apartment just because of, my 20s were fun. Yeah, man. No, that's the truth. And the reason why I choose not to let cocaine fully hook me is because, dude, sometimes I have a problem with my drinking and I don't need that on top of it. So, like, to me, it's like, yes, I like snorting coke. I like smoking weed, eating mushrooms, and drinking alcohol, but time and a place, dude, kind of thing. Like last time Alex Campbell, Warlord Campbell, came over, he was like, "Hey man, you got any booze?" And I had a fridge full of alcohol, and I was like, me being a kind and sharing person, I shared with him. Alex got so fucking drunk he legitimately was like calling himself King Cobra JFS and telling me that I need to take advice from him. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you're wrong. And second of all, just because I'm the King Cobra JFS here, I don't go around acting like I'm some kind of big shot because I'm a YouTube celebrity. I refuse to let my trolls get to me, and I refuse to let my fame go to my head. Heard that one song on Rebel Revolution called Powder My Nose? Riding the slopes, I must be snowblind, which was a Black Sabbath reference. No, I love Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking Darkness, and when I see what he had to go through with his drug rehabilitation and just having to like quote unquote clean up, and it's just like, yeah, drugs and alcohol can be fun, but it gets to a point where you're just like you're doing it all the time, and then it's just like, dude. Oh, you already know the fucking subreddit's gonna lose their fucking shit. Like Cobra admitted to experimenting with drugs in his 20s. What a fucking loser. And it's just like, yeah, but the majority of my trolls also do drugs too. So it's like, you're a hypocrite and a self judgmental fucking piece of shit. Don't get me wrong, I like doing cocaine. It's fun. It numbs the back of your throat, it numbs your nose. And then when it kicks in, you're just full of so much fucking energy. You're like, let's get shit done. And you can get the same effect minus the numb in your mouth and nose with a monster energy drink. That's what I'm saying. Like you think to yourself, oh, being a teenager sucks. Wow, it's only going to get suckier when you're an adult. And if you think doing drugs and alcohol and rebelling against society is going to make your life any better just because you're angry about some personal issues, guess what? That shit's not going to fucking make your personal issues go away, man. Because, like, with me personally, it's just like, yeah, I love to drink, but I get so sick and tired of like drinking all the time and then not taking a break, and then my tolerance goes up, and I gotta drink more to fucking because I've already got a habit with alcohol to some extent, and then my tobacco. Tobacco is my biggest addiction. Like if tobacco is so addicting that if you have a tobacco pipe and you haven't had tobacco in days, people will take a cigarette butt and then just squeeze the tobacco from that butt into your pipe and then like load it up, and then people are watching you dig through an ashtray and fill up your tobacco pipe with it like ew, and it's like, don't fucking judge me, asshole. None of you have the right to judge me because nobody's perfect and everyone has their disgusting filthy habits. Everyone does. Like, to be honest, it gets to a point where you're just drinking all the time and having fun, and then you get to a point where you're sick of it, and you're like, yeah, a little bit of booze goes a long way, and you're like, dude, I'm not in my 20s anymore, man. I gotta fucking slow down a little bit. Watching like celebrities I look up to, like Ron White, who's just like, he eventually just made the decision to stop drinking and just completely cut down on it. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to be Ron White's age and having the same conversation like, Jesus Christ, the doctors were saying, hey, man, your drinking's catching up to you. And it's like, I don't want that, YouTube. Like, I'm not in a rush to die, but at the same time, I accept that I'm gonna die and that I can't change a fucking thing about it. So, all the 80s and 60s and 70s bands, man, when rock and roll was still at the height. Rock and roll has died down a little bit, but it's still alive and very much present. You might see some autistic 31-year-old like myself still headbanging, despite the fact that I have a skullet and I'm losing my hair due to cigarettes and shitty diet and stress. But I've just decided to myself, quit stressing life, dude. Like, the things that I'm stressing life about are pretty fucking stupid, considering that most people would kill to be me right now. So it's like, I'll let society speak for itself. Y'all are a bunch of fucking morons. The ones who follow my channel, the ones who donate, and the ones who support my content, you people are awesome. You seem like reasonable, logical people. Ugh. Some for the homies. Ugh. But when Alex Campbell was being like that, like I said earlier, the dude got so drunk he forgot who King Cobra was, the one who was sharing his alcohol with him. And I'm like, yeah, no, I made up some shit like, hey man, I'm out of alcohol just to see what he would do. And instead of being like, okay, well, can I hang out for a bit till I'm sober enough to walk? And I'm like, I would have said, yeah, man, it's whatever. Just don't stay past 10 o'clock. Instead, as soon as I said, hey, man, I'm out of alcohol, what does he do? He takes off. Like, oh, well, you're out of booze. Okay, well, fuck you then. That's kind of how it felt, dude. And then that was a complete bullshit lie because I had a bottle of coconut rum left. I'm like, if you're just showing up to drink all their fucking alcohol and get so blackout drunk you forget who you are and who the other person is. Don't get me wrong, we've all been there, but like, and he did correct himself when when I called him out on it. I'm like, um, hey, bud. I don't care if you're gay or bisexual, but you're not King Cobra JFS. I am. Oh, well, that's not what I meant. Then why the fuck did you say it? Whoa! Yeah! Hey! 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 Yeah, buddy. Holy shit. I didn't mean to do a 2-hour fucking live stream just hanging out with you cool cobras, but we'll keep it going for a little bit longer. It's all about preserving your childhood for as long as you possibly can. And once you're hooked on cigarettes, you're pretty much hooked for the rest of your life because cigarettes are more addicting than cocaine, and that's the goddamn truth. Coke now. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I grew up around cigarette smokers. My grandparents smoked, and I had friends whose parents would smoke. And my parents never smoked, but my dad used to chew Copenhagen straight, long cut. My dad was an avid chewer for a long time, and then he just decided to quit. And I've got some horror stories about that. When you're a kid, you love soda pop, so you're just like automatically like, "Hey, soda pop, yeah," you know. And my dad would take a Coke can and, he'd use an empty Coke can for his spittoon. He'd sit there and pack a fat dip of Copenhagen straight and spit into a Coke can. And me being an obnoxious kid who wants soda pop and sugar, my dad's like, "Don't drink out of that can." Did I listen? No. And then as soon as I did, I was like, "Ugh, dude, accidentally drinking your dad's tobacco spit. Ugh, dude, so gross." And I'm trying to moderate my alcohol consumption so I'm not so aggressive with it. And I would ignore my fans and my family being like, "Cobra, you drink too much and you might want to slow down, buddy." And whenever my family or my trolls or my fans would tell me that, I'd take it as a challenge to drink more. But then it got to a point where it's like even celebrities you look up to are going, like Ron White saying, "Hey, man, you know, oh man, I'm starting to get a little sleepy." So grab my trusty top hat and my cigarettes, and it got to a point, YouTube, where I'm watching myself buy a shit ton of alcohol, and then like I go through it with friends or by myself, and I barely get a buzz, and I'm like, I'm sick of that, dude. No, when my granddad Al and my dad bought alcohol for the family reunion, I offered to buy some because I had like $200 in my PayPal at the time, and they were just like, "Nah, we got it. Don't worry about it." And then we bought so much fucking alcohol in one sitting that we had more than enough for the family reunion for it to last like 3 to 4 days. It was something my granddad Al said that if we don't have enough alcohol to make this last for like 3 to 4 days, then there's a problem. And then he kind of just looked at me like, my grandson's King Cobra JFS. Oh, jeez. And that was kind of my wake up call when my grandparents are going, "Hey, we drink alcohol too, but like, you drink this much, and then, kind of thing. But yeah, regardless, I had a delicious time at my family reunion. I didn't need alcohol for that. But for like the last 3 to 4 days of my family reunion, I would wait till 5 o'clock to have a beer or an alcoholic beverage. And then even after I had one, I wouldn't have more than four, just to show my family that, hey, you know what, Josher is not an alcoholic. He can actually maintain his shit. And at first, I was kind of like, and only doing it because I didn't want my family to think otherwise of me. But after doing it, I realized that I don't need alcohol to be happy in life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just sharing my experiences. I'm not trying to glorify it by any stretch of the imagination, you know. The problem with doing cocaine and shit like that is some asshole could lace it with meth and then make it worse. And that's the problem with the drug scene. Is that if cocaine were legal, you wouldn't see people lacing it with crystal meth and like fentanyl and all this other horrible fucking shit. Oh my god, dude. People are gonna fucking talk so much shit about this fucking live stream. People are gonna fucking YouTube poop it and talk all this shit and be like, oh my god, Cobra, just all this crap. I could already see it. Like if I had a son or a daughter or a kid, I would influence them to not do these things, and then even though it'd make me the world's biggest hypocrite, I quite frankly don't care. I'd be like, look, 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 look. I would tell my son, you don't need drugs to be happy in life. Like I'm all like I like doing cocaine and drinking alcohol and smoking weed and being your typical rock star, bad boy, whatever. But I don't want it to control my life. And you can YouTube poop it all you want. I don't care. My trolls are losers and no one takes them seriously because it's like, hey, person you hate has more support than you have, you know. I'll catch you later.